नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं पवन ठाकुर प्रॉपर्टी कंसल्टेंसी की ओर से आपका स्वागत करता हूं दी एक्सप्लेनर में। आज हम बात करेंगे उस सुपरस्टार की जिसने बॉलीवुड में हीरोइन की पूरी परिभाषा ही बदल कर रख दी, जीनत अमान। At over 70 years old, Zeenat Aman is currently experiencing a massive cultural resurgence. Through her honest social media presence, she is captivating a completely new generation of fans. To understand why her voice still resonates, we have to look at the cinematic world she first entered in the 1970s. At that time, Bollywood heroines were largely expected to be submissive and traditional, almost always appearing on screen in saris. Then came Dev Anand's 1971 film Hare Rama Hare Krishna. Zeenat appeared as Janice, a rebellious hippie who lived according to her own rules, standing in direct opposition to the industry's established norms. The film's centerpiece was the song Dum Maro Dum. In a moment of real-life tension, Zeenat's mother was reportedly furious when she learned her daughter used an actual chillum for the scene. By playing a flawed, modern woman without apology, she provided a new vision for what an actress could represent, sparking an immediate youth following. That on-screen independence was rooted in her personal history. Born into a diverse family, her mother gave her the Hindu name Lalateshwari, while her father, the screenwriter Amanullah Khan, gave her the name Zeenat. Her parents separated when she was a child. She was raised by her mother and later a German stepfather, growing up in a secular, cosmopolitan environment that valued personal freedom over rigid societal labels. She took that global perspective further by moving to Los Angeles, attending the University of Southern California on student aid. This creates an interesting link to the present day. USC is where Shah Rukh Khan's son, Aryan Khan, recently earned his film production degree. After returning to India to work as a model and journalist, Zeenat made history in 1970 as the first Indian woman to win the Miss Asia Pacific International title. This global education and upbringing provided a modern self-assurance that set her apart from the standard film industry archetypes of the early 70s. Throughout the 70s and 80s, she maintained absolute box office dominance with hits like Dawn, Kurbani, and Satyam Shivam Sundaram. In these roles, she brought Western fashion and a new sense of female autonomy directly into the mainstream Indian household. However, while she was the ultimate symbol of the free-spirited modern woman, Zeenat personally craved a sense of conventional domestic stability. She eventually married actor Mazhar Khan, hoping to find that idealized family life away from the cameras. But the pursuit of this perfect traditional life would eventually trap her in a difficult and restrictive domestic situation. The domestic dream quickly turned into a dark reality. Mazhar Khan struggled with a severe addiction to prescription painkillers, taking several doses daily. His addiction led to total kidney failure. Zeenat spent years caring for him and fighting his battles, even as the environment around her became increasingly toxic. Eventually, she chose self-preservation over silence. To protect her two sons and her own identity, she made the difficult decision to walk away from the marriage. The fallout was brutal. When Mazhar died in 1998, his family stripped Zeenat of his properties and even barred her from attending his funeral to pay her last respects. She had already begun to reclaim her identity. In 1988, she returned to the screen in the courtroom drama Gawahi, a move she described as an essential escape from her personal roles as a wife and mother. Her story reflects a harsh reality. While the public celebrated her independence on the screen, they often judged it in her private life, forcing her to fight for her own survival. Zeenat eventually stepped away from the spotlight, spending decades living quietly to raise her two sons as a single mother. Her modern resurgence on social media feels like a late career victory. The same society that once scrutinized her personal choices now looks to her as a source of wisdom and grace. Zeenat Aman's legacy is defined by the courage to walk away from toxicity, the strength to raise children alone, and the grace to reinvent yourself at any age. Zeenat Aman की कहानी हमें सिखाती है कि चाहे कितनी भी मुश्किलें आएं, अपनी पहचान कभी नहीं खोनी चाहिए। वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो लाइक करें और ठाकुर प्रॉपर्टी कंसल्टेंसी द्वारा प्रस्तुत दी एक्सप्लेनर को सब्सक्राइब करें। धन्यवाद।